To my dismay, it seems the gaming press has made the mistake of following the hype train once again. I've seen it with The Last of Us, I've seen it with Bioshock Infinite, and now here we are again. History repeating itself until we as a collective learn from our mistakes and criticize games correctly, instead of peeing our pants when everyone else is parroting the same garbage. And here we go. Recently, many people seem to think Breath of the Wild is a breath of fresh air, but personally, I think Breath of the Wild could use a breath mint. This game stinks, people, like a wet stray dog with a farting problem. But before I start my review, I'd appreciate it if you guys could, well, bear with me, as I'd like to go over some basic housekeeping stuff for my channel. We recently hit over 70 views on my last video, which exceeds my subscriber count, which I personally believe really shows some growth in this channel, and I just want to give a round of applause to us for making it this far. Furthermore, I'd like to apologize for my going off the upload schedule I provided. For those of you new to the channel, basically, I sent out a newsletter containing my planned upload schedule for the next 6 months, and well, while I did specify that that was subject to change, I'd still like to address it, as it's not a good way to start this channel well, and I went off schedule because of family death, and I know it was very unprofessional of me, but we learn as we go, and with every success, there are always something that we can improve on. And if you're new to this channel, would like a copy of the PDF file, you can leave your email address or contact information in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you. Anyways, as you can see, against my best judgment, I've dipped into my savings and purchased a Nintendo Switch. It wasn't hard, but they had many of them at my local Walmart, and they said I was the first one to even ask about them. Now, on to the review. As you can tell by my title, well, I'm not a big fan of this game. Now, if you had watched my previous videos, you might say something like, oh well, he's a Zelda hater, he hates Zelda, big surprise there. And I'd like to just dispel any fear here that I'm not capable of reviewing this game due to some perceived bias that I have for a certain green elf man. But you people needn't worry, as it so happens, this new Zelda game, in my opinion, takes an entirely different approach to the formula, for better or for worse. Rather than a series of linear key hunts that seem to make every internet plebeian's pants tight, Nintendo has decided to explore the realm of sandbox gaming the only way they know how, by shoving one of their famous intellectual properties into it and banking off name alone to peddle their garbage. But now, it seems nowadays that that's not enough for Nintendo, and now they need to sell sex to the bottom of the barrel gamers and fan artists. I know some of you, lesser people, may take to accusing me of having a dirty mind, but you're simply blind if you don't notice what's going on here. From Zelda's ass to putting Link in women's clothes, one has to wonder if Nintendo has considered creating Rule 34 bait as a viable way of marketing to their customers, and from my point of view, this would appear to be the case, especially if you take a look at some parts of Nintendo's fan base. It's no wonder Nintendo has stooped so low. It's creative, I'll give them that, but I just wish they could put that creativity into their game developing. But what do you expect from a company that's been releasing remakes of their past games since their second console? But that's enough of my smack talk. Let's get into the gameplay. Something new here, at least due to the N64 classics is that your weapons will break after using them for a little while. A lot like the Switch, huh, Nintendo? Now, this system really adds nothing, at least for me, to the game, and I personally firmly believe that it was only put in place to sell more of Nintendo's DLC dolls, or amiibo, as some of you would rather call them. Link runs around this sandbox with his jerky running animation and collects items which aid him in progressing to set off the triggers that initiate the shitty final boss fight. And trust me, we'll get into that soon, and then the credits roll, blah blah blah. You've heard all this before. To be fair, this game's combat system feels solid despite running at a pitiful 20 frames per second if you're lucky, and I had, dare I say, fun while making my way through the game. However, this fun is hollow when you're faced with the harsh reality that this game has an abysmal story which gives you no motivation or reward to complete the game. And just like that, we'll move on to the story of Breath of the Wild, which is, well, not to mince words here, but it's garbage, and it isn't helped at all by Nintendo's dream team of voice actors. When I heard this game would have voice acting, and I saw the trailer, I'll admit I was intrigued. I thought for once Nintendo might make a Zelda game worth playing, and well, you know what they say. If something seems too good to be true, and usually is. And, well, what you get in Breath of the Wild is some strings of text and the occasional voice acting, which sounds like it was casted off of some voice acting club off the internet. And, I mean, seriously, this Goron sounds like the president of the anime club doing an impression of Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop. And we get no characterization, hardly any motivation, a mute protagonist who only serves to push the big stinky shit that is the plot along, and all that is when he's not being used to edge Nintendo into the homosexual pornography market, and all of this culminating in everyone setting off their friendship beams in order to stop our incredibly bland force of nature villain. Yes, you heard right. No great evil wizard with a grand destiny in this story. Instead, we have a giant robot spider Gammon, who then turns into a pig monster Gammon, or, as the game calls him, the manifestation of hatred and malice. Oh great, just what everyone wanted. And don't forget to give us the item that lets us kill the boss in a cutscene right before we fight him. Phew, thanks Zelda, I thought we were up shit creek without a paddle. Yes, this manifestation of hatred and malice is defeated, and Link goes on with his life to, I don't know, play Angry Birds on his stupid iPad, or play the drums on Zelda's new massive ass. Who gives a fuck? Was anyone actually moved by this story? Did anyone care? Or are you all just playing it because Jimmy Fallon rubbed his nuts on a Switch and you saw it on Facebook? Why are we giving this game a 10 out of 10 like it's some masterpiece? The game can't even run at 60 frames per second. How the hell has anyone even played this game all the way through without their Nintendo Switch falling apart? How long until Nintendo starts selling Rosalina Bikini Amiibo unashamedly? As smart as I am, I can't seem to find the answers to these questions. I feel as if the world has gone mad. Do you all really believe there is so little room for improvement here? I'm thoroughly disappointed, and all of you can only beg that you use better judgment and see Nintendo for what they are, a greedy, insane company that should be bankrupt by now and is only kept alive by all of your faith in them. And the Breath of the Wild, for me, gets a 4 out of 10. And I'd personally recommend you wait until you can get it for $20. That's all. I'd like for you all to like and subscribe and comment if you didn't like the video and discuss. And have a great day.